The alien city shimmered under twin suns, its crystalline towers reflecting light in patterns that seemed almost alive. Among the bustling crowd, a human visitor moved with cautious awe. He had been invited to this world not as a diplomat, soldier, or scholar, but simply as a guest, someone curious enough to witness a civilization unlike any he had ever known. The invitation had been unexpected. A playful message from an alien woman, sent via a holographic projection that flickered with her smiling image, had promised a day you will never forget. At first, he had thought it was a joke, perhaps a custom unique to her people. Yet, here he was, stepping into the heart of a city that pulsed with energy, colors shifting as if aware of every gaze. The alien woman waited in a garden that defied gravity. Plants hovered, flowers rotated in slow circles, and small, glowing creatures flitted through the air like living constellations. She appeared almost ethereal, her form tall and lithe, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver, and eyes that reflected the twin suns as if they were mirrors. She smiled at him, and there was a mischievous spark that instantly made him relax. "You are here," she said, her voice musical but firm. "Good. I was beginning to think you might get lost among our floating streets." He laughed nervously. "I admit, it's harder to navigate than I expected." She circled him lightly, observing his reaction with genuine curiosity. "Curiosity is good," she said. "It is the first step toward understanding. And understanding can lead to unexpected things." Her words hung in the air like a riddle. He did not know then that those words would become the foundation of something far deeper than either of them. Anticipated. Their day began with simple adventures. She led him through gardens suspended in midair, over canals of liquid crystal that reflected impossible colors, and through halls where music seemed to grow from the walls themselves. Every moment was playful, every glance teasing. At one point, she handed him a device that transformed his hand into a miniature hovercraft, and they spent a laughing hour racing through the gardens, narrowly avoiding the floating flowers. Yet, amidst the laughter, he noticed something more profound. She watched him not with condescension, but with genuine fascination, as if every human expression, every small gesture, revealed mysteries she wanted to understand. He, in turn, felt the same pull. Her playfulness was infectious, but her presence carried a depth that made him think beyond the usual human measures of wonder. As the suns began their slow descent, painting the sky with streaks of gold and violet, she guided him to a platform overlooking the city. The floating towers glowed softly, and the distant spires of other gardens shimmered like distant stars. He felt a sense of vertigo and awe at the same time, an intoxicating mix of insignificance and connection. She turned to him, her expression suddenly serious, yet still tinged with a trace of her playful demeanor. "I have something to ask," she said, "a question that is both playful and serious." He raised an eyebrow. "I'm listening." She smiled, and in a fluid motion produced a small, glowing band. It was simple in design, yet the material seemed to hum with energy, as if alive. "Will you marry me?" she asked, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. He blinked, caught off guard. "You? You're serious?" "Serious, yes," she said, tilting her head. "But I wanted to make it playful. Marriage is, after all, both a game and a commitment, a test of understanding, patience, and perhaps courage." He laughed, partly out of relief and partly out of disbelief. "I didn't expect this. On any planet, in any culture, I wasn't ready for a proposal today." She stepped closer, her smile softening into something warmer, more intimate. Life rarely waits for readiness. Sometimes it surprises us, and in the surprise, we find truths we didn't know existed. The weight of her words sank in slowly. He realized that she was not only offering marriage, but inviting him into a world, a life, that demanded trust and openness beyond anything he had known. Yet in that moment, he felt an instinctive connection, a recognition that the path she offered was worth stepping onto. I will, he said finally, his voice steady despite the rapid beat of his heart. I accept. Her laughter rang out, soft and melodic, echoing across the floating city. She took his hand, sliding the band onto his finger, and at that moment, a warmth spread through him, not just from the device itself, but from the unspoken bond forming between them. The days that followed were filled with discovery. She introduced him to her world in ways both playful and profound. They navigated political gatherings where humans were rare curiosities, shared meals that shimmered with flavors he could not have imagined, and participated in traditional ceremonies that celebrated connection, trust, and growth. Each experience, while beautiful on the surface, carried deeper lessons about respect, empathy, and courage. Through it all, he found himself learning not only about her world, but about himself. He discovered strengths he had never tested, patience he had never needed, and an emotional resilience that only blossomed in response to her challenges and expectations. She, too, seemed changed. Her laughter became softer around him, her playful tests gentler, revealing a vulnerability that she had shared with no one before. One evening, during a festival that lit the city with floating lanterns and streams of iridescent energy, he realized the full depth of his feelings. He watched her dance with a grace that seemed almost impossible, her form catching the light in ways that made her look like a living constellation. And yet, it was not just her beauty that struck him. It was her joy, her care, and the undeniable bond they had begun to share. He approached her cautiously, unsure of how to bridge the moment without disrupting it. She noticed him and extended her hand, an invitation to join her dance. As they moved together, synchronized yet free, he felt a profound truth settle within him. This was no longer a playful proposal, no longer a mere adventure in a foreign world. This was love, deep and unexpected, formed through laughter, trust, and the courage to accept what the heart demanded. Days turned into weeks, and their bond deepened further. They faced challenges that tested their understanding of one another and their commitment. Cultural misunderstandings, political tensions, and even a minor threat from an unexpected faction forced them to confront fears and rely on one another in ways neither had anticipated. Yet every obstacle only strengthened the connection between them, forging a partnership built on mutual respect and admiration. In quiet moments, away from the bustling city and the curious eyes of others, he found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him here. A simple invitation, playful in its intent, had opened a door to a life he could not have imagined. A marriage proposal that had seemed whimsical had become the foundation for something enduring and transformative. She, too, often spoke of the surprise she felt in meeting him. Her people were ancient and wise, yet she admitted that the depth of emotion and insight he brought into her life was unexpected. I thought I knew love, she confessed one night, but this is beyond what I imagined. He smiled, taking her hand. I feel the same, he said. I came here curious about your world, but I stayed because of you, because of what we share. The city continued to shimmer and pulse around them. Yet in those moments, the noise and light faded, leaving only the quiet certainty of connection. They had discovered not only each other, but a shared purpose: to navigate life together, to grow in understanding, and to face whatever challenges awaited with courage and love. Their marriage, though rooted in a playful proposal, became a symbol, not only of their union, but of the possibilities that humanity could bring into alien worlds. It was a testament to curiosity, empathy, and the willingness to embrace the unknown. Humans, he realized, carried within them an ability to forge connections, to adapt, and to love in ways that transcended cultural and biological boundaries. Over time, they became partners not only in life, but in exploration. They traveled to distant planets together, negotiated alliances between species, and even shared human stories that fascinated alien audiences. Everywhere they went, their bond served as proof that understanding, courage, and openness could bridge even the most unimaginable gaps. Yet despite the grand adventures, it was the simple moments that defined their love. A shared meal under a sky of twin moons, a quiet conversation on a balcony overlooking a floating garden, a playful challenge in a gravity-defying park. These instances carried more meaning than any diplomatic achievement or technological marvel. They had built a life where joy and depth existed hand in hand, where love was not sudden, but nurtured through shared experiences and respect. Years passed, and their story became one told not only among humans, but across the alien civilizations they encountered. It was a story of unexpected love, of courage and curiosity, and of the power humans possess to touch lives in ways both profound and playful. The marriage proposal that had begun as a jest became a legacy, a reminder that, even in worlds far beyond Earth, human qualities, resilience, empathy, humor, and love could shine brighter than any alien technology dot. And in the quiet moments, when the twin suns dipped below the horizon and the city shimmered in twilight, he would look at her and remember the first playful proposal. A simple gesture, full of laughter and challenge, had turned into a life of shared wonder, deep love, and a partnership that neither time